Hi guys, this is Brad Lincoln from Pathway to Oz, trying to give you your best tricks and tips to work out your best pathway to study in Australia. Okay guys, bit of a different video today. This is sort of more of just an informative video, and basically it's come to our attention that there is a new English test that is available that a lot of institutions are accepting, and it is called the Duolingo English Test. I'm sure if some of you have been trying to explore your options to study in Australia or study around the world, this may have popped up in your searches. It's really quite new. The way they're doing it, I think, is really cool, and it's the next sort of generation of how English tests are going to be. But let me just run through a bit of information with you about this so you can get a bit of understanding about this English test and how it could possibly benefit you. Okay, now what are the benefits of the Duolingo English test? Number one, the test can be done anywhere in the world as it's 100% online. So you don't need to worry about booking into test centres and trying to find the right appointment that fits your schedule, all that sort of stuff. Essentially, if you've got an internet connection and a solid computer, you can get underway with this test. Number two, the test only takes 1 hour to complete, which anyone who's taken IELTS or PTE knows, this is really quick and a really quick, efficient way to do the English test. And number three, I think is one of the biggest benefits, is you get your results in only 2 days. Okay guys, of course I understand, you do your test and not everything's perfect. You might be in a rush to do it. It might be a last minute requirement you didn't realize you had to do. But the fact that you can get these your test results in only 2 days is an absolutely huge benefit. Okay, now what is required to take this test? Essentially guys, really simple. You would need, when signing up to do the test, you're going to need a passport, driver's license or government ID card so they can make sure you are who you're saying you are. A quiet, well-lit room, a reliable internet connection, and most importantly, a computer with a working microphone, front-facing camera, and speakers where you're actually going to be hearing the instructor talking to you. How do the scores work with the Duolingo English test? Okay guys, so like all the other English tests that are available, PTE, IELTS, TOEFL, all that sort of thing, they all have different ways and they score the tests, which can make it a bit tricky to understand at times, trying to figure out what your score converts into in IELTS and things like that. The Duolingo test has a score ranking of 10 to 160, but to give you an idea of how this works, I'll sort of give you a breakdown in terms of IELTS because it's the most recognized one that people seem to understand. So if you need an IELTS score of 5.5, you're going to require a Duolingo test score of anywhere from 95 to 100, okay? Say you need an IELTS score of 7, you would then require a Duolingo test score of 130 to 135. So it sort of just goes up in increments of 10, you know what I mean? It's pretty easy to figure out, but they have a really good conversion table listed on their website where you can compare every single score that they have to IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge, all that sort of stuff. And finally, what is the cost for the Duolingo test? Okay, by far, one of the best things about this test only cost $49 US. Okay, so anyone who has done TOEFL or IELTS or PTE know that these tests can be quite expensive, and it's not so bad if it's a one-off, but if you didn't get the score and you have to do this test a couple of times to get admission into your college, that cost can go into the thousands very quickly. The fact that it's only $49 US makes it a lot more affordable and a really good way to sort of save on cost when preparing for moving into study internationally. Another really big benefit of the Duolingo system is they have multiple free tests and practice tests on their website that you can go on, you can do, so you can really build your confidence up before physically sitting the exam. Now guys, I just want to clarify, this is very important. Currently, the Duolingo English test cannot be used for migration purposes in Australia. This is only admission into some institutions. Now, not all institutions are accepting this test at the moment, but there have been such a wave of institutions starting to accept it. I don't think it will be too long before all the schools in Australia accept this as a standard. However, for the purposes of migration, and if you do require an English test result as part of your visa application, unfortunately at the moment, this won't work for you. So guys, as always, I hope you found this video informative. I just think it's a really cool idea and good for you to know about the other options you have for undertaking your English test for your entry requirements to study in Australia. But as always, if you do have any other questions or want to discuss your best pathway to migrating or studying in Australia, please never hesitate to contact the team at Pathway to Oz. Thanks.